100 days content is by far the most popular content on my main channel, so I thought it might be a little bit of fun to show you the process of what I do from start to finish, and it generally takes me about a month or so per video. I've just finished working on the final installment of the Stardew Valley Mega Expanded series, and the entire series is up right now, so I'll leave that linked in the description. At this point, I've been making these kinds of videos for about 18 months or so to me I've kind of got like a process down, but I am also experimenting with streaming the full gameplay, and I'm using Graveyard Keeper for this, and then I've been recording those streams which I will script and edit down later, so then we get like 2 types of content out of it. But this video is really just going to be talking about what I usually do when I don't stream it, and I think we should just jump right in. So of course the first thing we're going to need is the gameplay. I don't really tend to plan anything here, but sometimes I do give my character like a little backstory, just to give it a little fun spin, and I did this with my Joja series and my Thief series. I didn't do it this time though, because really I was just interested in exploring these mods. I play through the whole 100 days in one go, and when I say 100 days, if a game's got like a yearly cycle like Stardew Valley has, the video is actually 112 days because it's only 12 days more to take it to a full year. It's a little frustrating, I can totally understand, when you end the year on winter 16 and there's literally 12 days to go. So we call it 100 days video, but really it's a full year. And when I say I play through the whole 100 days in one go, I don't just mean in one sitting. It's usually over the course of a week or 2. And this time it took me 11 days, obviously working around some other stuff that I have to do, like record my weekly video and edit it, and the streams I have scheduled, live stuff. But I think the shortest I've ever done this is like a week or so. I have heard that some people in this phase do tend to take notes as they play along for like what they did each day to make their scripting job easier, but like for me I find like stopping to like take the notes and then like starting again, it kind of breaks my flow a bit. I find it a lot easier to just like completely focus on playing the game, because in all honesty when I did try to do this I did forget for a lot of days to take any notes, so it just made it very much not worth it, at least for me. For most of these recordings I do just sit mostly silently, but I do tend to have either like a YouTube video or like a Netflix series in the background, because I do record my game audio separate from like my entire PC audio. And I do just keep my mic active because sometimes I do just kind of like blurt out a reaction, so sometimes it's funny to just like keep those things that happen in the moment. And then I've got the choice of whether to use it or not. Sometimes it does add value. Once I finish my final day, I then need to script the voiceover. I am very open about this, a lot of people do know that my voiceovers are all scripted. I feel like it's just easier for me to add a bit of spice and value that way. I also think this is how a lot of people do it too. So for me, this phase involves scrubbing through all of the footage, picking out the interesting bits, and writing something fun about it. And of course as I'm writing it as well, I'm trying to think of ways to like keep it how I would naturally speak. I still want it to sound like me, but this stage is by far the most time-consuming part. I think my record for scripting was something like a week or so, which is wild to me, but I think it was one of the Joja series videos. But I had a look and that particular script was about 12,000 words. My scripts have got longer over time though, so this one ended up taking me 11 days and I wrote 21,000 words. So clearly I have got a bit faster over time because it was nearly double, but definitely not double the time. It really is as time consuming as it sounds, but I find the flow of writing for me does come more naturally when I do things this way. So like going back to the point on making notes whilst I play, this also gives me another issue. So what I also found when I did take notes is that I would sometimes forget to note down something significant that happened. So when I just edit by the notes, I would then just pick out the parts that I mentioned in the notes, and I could miss something really significant that way. We all know I've got that ADHD memory, because like what would happen is that I'd script just based on the notes, find the footage just based on the notes, and then I'd move on to another day and I've got this item or this milestone that I definitely didn't edit in before, and I'm just like, when did I do this? How did I do this? And then I have to go back and find it. So this way I just reduce the risk of me missing stuff, but it does still happen from time to time, and most of the time I'll go back and find it if I think I need to. So after days and days and days of typing, it's time to record the voiceover. Hello friends, today is a very exciting day. I am currently getting ready to record the voiceover for this 100 days video. Don't mind how my hair looks. I've done my refresh. It always looks like this before I put the oil in, but it's still kind of damp, you can probably tell. So I'm gonna sort it later. I mean, I'm not even going anywhere today, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm just excited to get this step done. It's the one that takes the least amount of time, but it does end up hurting my voice a lot because I do record the entire thing in one go. And the reason I do that is literally because, hello? Can you see? There we go. I think a cable got loose. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the reason I record the entire thing in one go is because I kind of find that like if I try to do it in multiple stages, first of all I kind of get hyper focused and just like blast through it anyway, but I can just never make my voice sound the same if I like do some of it one day and then do some of it either later that day or even the next day or whatever. And I feel like the way that my voice changes, it can sound really jarring when it's like from one sentence to the next. So I just do it all in one go. My voice gradually gets a bit more pained. And I feel like by the end you can kind of tell that I've been talking for several hours straight. And I feel like it's worse because I'm not just talking like I am to you guys now. It's reading a script and I'm trying to like make sure I read it properly and like enunciate and speak clearly. And then on top of that, it's not just the script, it's like I'm gonna mess up sometimes, or I'll read something and it doesn't quite make sense when I actually read it aloud, so I have to like change it on the fly. So where the videos end up being like, I don't know, an hour or so, like it usually ends up that the recording is like double that. Although it does include all the pauses and stuff as well, there is that, and I do have to like stop sometimes for about 30 seconds and just like have a drink. Where's my water? Oh, I do have a bottle of squash with me. Very, very important. And I don't know, maybe I should be doing some like voice warm-up or something, but I don't know how to do that. I mean, I probably could look it up, but I'm not gonna do that. I suppose me talking to you guys is kind of like a vocal warm-up. Obviously, I don't usually do this before I record the voiceover, so there is that. But at the same time, I think this is the first time I'm recording my voiceover in the daytime. What usually happens is I get to the end of the project, I get to the end of the scripting. Here is my script. You'll see why it looks like this if you watch the video. But by this point it's usually like, I don't know, like 10 p.m. or something. And I go, oh my god, I finished it, I can do the voiceover, and I literally just like drop everything and do it there and then, just like out of overexcitement. But I ended up finishing this script at like 11:30 last night, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna wait until the morning, because the thing is with having both ADHD and chronic fatigue is pacing is kind of difficult because you get overexcited, and every other time that I've recorded it like there and then that night, I've also felt really rough for the next few days where I've just pushed myself. So this time I thought I'd be a bit more sensible, wait until the next day. The only problem is I woke up today feeling really, really tired. It was really hard for me to get out of bed, and I think that is also because I think I wrote like my record of what I've ever done in a day last night. So not last night, like throughout the entirety of yesterday. I'm not going to install you right now. Remind me later. I feel like updating my microphone software just before I'm about to voice record is probably not the smartest, like what if something goes wrong. But yesterday I wrote 5,200 words over the course of the day and scripted like 46 days in one go. Well, not really in one go, it was like spaced throughout the day, but I did also stream yesterday, so that was 3 hours that I wasn't scripting. So oh, and on top of that I also recorded an hour of Palea. So the 4 hours I wasn't scripting, and I wrote over 5,000 words in a day. Like before yesterday I was like, if I wrote 2,000 words today, I'm happy with that kind of output. But I also tend to get this like little thing towards the end of a project where the first few days takes me ages, and then towards the end I just accelerate. So like at the moment, every day I was writing more than the last, other than like one day where I had to be out for like several hours. And going out takes a little bit more out of me, but maybe that's why I'm so tired. I'm probably brain tired from all the writing. Anyway, I need to stop rambling. Let's get this recorded. Alright, I think I'm ready to go. I've just done a little test recording to make sure that the audio settings are fine. And I guess the only thing I need to do now is start. I'm just going to reread through actually my intro before I do this. I played 300 days of Stardew Valley Mega Expanded. It's time to try and reach for perfection. An ambitious goal, but we've got our entire third year to try and reach it.
A few moments later.
Really sorry if you can hear the fan. I started to overheat, and I also started to get my weird hunger issue. Can't remember if I've talked about this on another vlog before, but because of my medication, I'm waving this biscuit around. Basically, because of one of my medications, it makes me hungry all the time, and add to that the fact that ADHD doesn't help us very much with recognising our body's cues, and I suddenly got like the dizzy hunger, which means I need to put something in my mouth right now. So I found my packet of bedtime biscuits because I also need to take one of my bedtime medications with food. And I'm just like stopping for a minute to have a snack and just recover for a sec. My voice sounds like this not because of how I feel, but just because I've been talking for I mean, it's still rolling, but it's been like 2 hours of just straight talking. And I'm currently on winter 8th, but this video goes on a little past the usual amount that I do, so there is a bit more to go, but I just thought I'll have a minute, have a biscuit, and then carry on, because I really don't want to pass out. I've just had a couple of biscuits, now I'm just waiting for my body to realise that I've eaten. I have been drinking as I go along, but for some reason this squash leaves a weird, like, almost powdery feeling in my mouth. I don't know if, like, maybe in the future I need to just buy a bottle of water just for this purpose, like for when I do my voiceovers. I would just fill it with tap water, but the tap water from our kitchen tastes really bad, so that's mostly why I drink squash. I also should have probably added when I was talking about my hunger thing that I did actually have breakfast literally like 20 minutes before I started recording, so yeah, my body just like doesn't do enough time without food other than when I sleep. It's not even like I want to graze all day, I would just suddenly start feeling like this, and then I need to just shove something in my mouth. And usually I would choose a cereal bar, but that means going to the kitchen, but the biscuits were in the room, so I just grabbed those instead. I don't even think I've got any more cereal bars. I think I've eaten them all. I think I need to get some more. I'm gonna allow myself to recover for a bit, and then I will see you on the other side when we're all recorded. On day 318, I realised I forgot to check the Ridge Forest the first Sunday for the fox bloom. Thank you so much to my channel members, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! My voice is killing me. But we did it. So the final length of the recording ended up being 2 hours and 48 minutes, which is very, very long, but obviously we had that break for like, I don't know, I think it's like 10 minutes. I probably should have split the recording, but it's fine. Now I just need to get this on the drive and rest my voice, eat something proper, and start editing. Now we need to edit in the voiceover. At this point, it's pretty much just me lining up the audio with the footage, because when I pick out the clips, I say in my head the voice line, and then I know that's where it goes, if that makes sense. And most of the time, the clips end up being a little bit longer than they should be compared to what the final voiceover comes out as, but it's easier to cut the end off of a clip than add it back in if I need to. Now, this part usually does only take me like a couple of days or so, but this time I had a few real life things to deal with. And I also had some really bad chronic fatigue days too. I just really wasn't feeling well. So it definitely did go a lot slower than I would have usually liked. But that is kind of the thing about having both ADHD and chronic fatigue syndrome. Like, there will be times when my body is literally screaming at me to stop everything I'm doing and just like switch off. But then my ADHD is like, no, but this is making my brain happy. Lie down bad, lie down boring. But I am trying my best to like listen a little bit more and just like pace myself a bit so that like when I do need to lie down and chill out for a minute, it's for a shorter amount of time than if I like fully crash out. As sort of a side note, I did also recently upgrade my editing software to the studio version of DaVinci Resolve 18, which is like the paid one versus the free one. And it's got a lot of good quality of life additions. But one of the things I was really excited about was the audio transcription. Like, I thought it would help me out with this particular video because it would then cut out the silences between when I recorded the voiceover a lot more easily. So I did give it a go, but it came out pretty wonky when I tried it with this one. I don't know if it's something with my voice. And I ended up finding myself spending way longer adjusting the audio than what I would have done if I just cut the silences out myself. So I ended up just going back to my old way of doing things. Once I've gone through that entire thing, I'll then go back and add in all the fun edits. And this is my chance to also kind of like play it through and refine some of the timings a little bit. And at this stage, I'll also be adding music at the same time. Then after that, I add in all the day labels, which really is just adding a title and typing the right day in each time. It's as simple as it sounds, but it does take a little while just to make sure everything is in its right place. The reason I do this last, after adding all the edits, is because when I'm watching it through, having an extra layer does sometimes make the software lag a little bit, and as long as I like scrub through and just double check the days are in the right place, which is what I tend to do, I don't feel like I need to watch it through again with the day labels. So at this point, that means I can just render the video, which with the upgraded version of the software with its hardware acceleration, well, previously, when I render these videos, it tends to take the amount of time that the length of the video is. So like with this video, it's just a little bit more than 90 minutes. So I previously had to wait roughly 90 minutes to render the entire video. And at this point, I tend to just try and not do anything with my PC to make sure it happens quickly and I don't make it slower or anything, which when I do most of my stuff on my PC, very, very boring. But with the studio version, it took me just over 30 minutes for this 90-ish minute video. So that is a huge time save. Like for me personally, the upgrade was worth it just for that on its own. I do usually use this time to do like a little bit of self-care or like something in the house or something. Just stuff that I usually put off because I'm, you know, working on all the other bits. It's just that feeling of when I can't do what I want. Like to me, a break isn't a break if I can't do what I want. So if I want to be like, I don't know, playing something or whatever, Usually it's like something specific in that moment. When I can't do that, I don't consider it a break. So I just like go and do something else. But as soon as the video's done, all the excitement kicks in. So first thing I do as soon as it's done is go straight to YouTube and send it for upload. Then whilst it's uploading, I do a slightly sped up watch through. I usually do it on like 1.5 speed, and this is of the fully rendered version. I just do this to kind of make sure that everything is 100% come out okay, and if I didn't spot a mistake before, then this is my chance to spot a mistake. Usually the video comes out fine and there isn't really a mistake that I need to change anything with, but this time there was a mistake right in the beginning. I got the day label in the wrong place at the start. So I did have to like go back in, and it took me 2 seconds to just cut out the bit I didn't need. It did mean I had to re-render the entire video again, but if we pretend that didn't happen this time, usually the video is fine. So by the time I finished the watch through, the video was pretty much finished uploading. So that's just saved me, I mean, it would have saved me in this case like, you know, over an hour. And you never really know how long YouTube's going to take to process and do its like copyright checks and stuff, so the earlier I can get it on the site, the better. Once all the processing and checks are done, whenever that ends up being, usually like, I think the shortest I've ever had it is like 30 minutes or so, but sometimes it could take a couple of hours. I then go ahead and schedule a premiere, and I've never really had any issue with very short notice on scheduling premieres, but it's so much fun. We get to like watch the video together and I chat to you all. So because of the short notice on these, I do tend to try and like warn like a couple of days in advance or something if I think I'm going to finish the video, like via community post or via Discord, but best thing to do is make sure you got the channel notifications on, and then you definitely can't miss it that way, unless YouTube does the thing where it's like, no, I'm not going to notify you till it's too late, but at least you've done what you can. So for this particular video, from day 1 of recording to the time that we premiered it, it took 1 month and 2 days. And that's pretty much working on it full time. Like, here's a quick look at what my calendar on TikTok looks like, and anything in pink is related to 100 days video. And I don't say necessarily that like this day's scripting and this day's editing. I just put 100 days video because I'll be working on something related to it. And I don't know how well you can see, but my days run from 11 till 11. So yeah, it's a lot of time spent working on these videos. Now, that's not to say that my days are very much set in stone to what is on this calendar here. Like, I don't do everything on here at the exact times that they're on here. A lot of the time I do just go back later and like change what's on there because I like it to match up to what I've done in the day. And that's usually for things that are completely separate to like working on these videos. So like, this past month I had a few days where I was doing something else. So we had Michael's birthday to celebrate, and then I had the new PC, like setting all this room up and such. Vlog coming soon for that, by the way. I had like a car inspection that ended up taking out like half of my day. Just like random things like that, like a couple of cinema trips. So this isn't 100% how I spend my time, just to like clarify, but it's more kind of a guide for like when I'm at home, this is what I'm going to be spending my time doing. I don't know if it sounds silly to have like a calendar for this sort of purpose, like the way that I've set it out, because you can see most of my time really is just spent doing 100-day stuff other than a few things here and there. But the reason I use it is because I do just schedule some little chores with reminders for something. So like, you know, bringing the wheelie bin to the front of the house, for example, on the right day of the week, and remembering to take it back in the day after. And just as a reminder to like have a regular day that I do laundry on, for example, so it doesn't just like build up. Because it's very easy to forget, and then I end up in a cycle of, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. Oh no, I forgot yesterday. I'll do it tomorrow though, I'm too busy today. Oh, I forgot again. I'll just do it tomorrow. If I just have like a day, or my calendar just like yells at me, do your laundry, then I'll just go and do the laundry. But yeah, are there better ways to do some of the things for these videos? Absolutely. But I found a workflow I feel works well for me. And even though it is very, very time consuming, I don't mind because I enjoy making them. And I'm glad that the subscribers of my main channel seem to enjoy them too. Let me know in the comments what you personally do differently with this kind of workflow. Everyone's got their own way of doing things and their own ideas, so I find it interesting to know. Just like when I found out some people take notes while they record, for example. And please do leave a like if you enjoy this little insight. I thought some of you might find it interesting. As a reminder, the full movie for the series is linked in the description. And make sure you're subscribed for the next vlog, which is going to be building a new editing PC and setting up this new space here. And with your notifications on, you'll know as soon as that vlog is ready. So I will see you all then. Bye!